بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا. فما بعد, I am at this beautiful place, Ashley Reservoir, and just some random thoughts on the glory of Allah. Now look at this, it's freezing cold, but see this goose, Canada goose, is busy feeding in this freezing water. As you can see, the color, the leaf is turning color, and between yesterday and today we can see the change in color and how beautifully the color has changed and how it continues to change. Subhanallah al-Azim, Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. It's very important. You know, today we are living in a world where we are seeing all kinds of difficulties, atrocities, all kinds of injustices that are happening. And obviously the question always is, what can we do? And you know, should we protest and should we do this and that and march on the streets and so forth? And I know there are different opinions on this, Islamically speaking, what is permissible, what is not permissible, what should one do and what one should not do and all that. I am not going into all that here. That's not the purpose. What we should do, and on this I don't think there is any difference of opinion either, or can be a difference of opinion, is ruju ila Allah, is to turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the very simple reason that there is no one who can change the condition of us or our condition or anybody else's condition except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore we turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now the way we turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in two ways. One is or in two steps. The first one of them being become obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because there is no turning towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while we continue to disobey Him, to challenge Him, to defy Him, to refuse to follow His commands, to refuse to bring Him Jalla Jalaluhu, and to bring the implementation of His commands in our lives, which is the blessed sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no way of saying that I am turning towards Allah, but I will continue to defy Him and I will continue to do what He prohibited me from doing, and I will not cancel my declaration or the acceptance of declaration of war with Allah, which means that I will not get out of my interest-based dealings and whatnot, but I want Allah to help. I think we need to remember that we are subject to Allah and Allah is not subject to us, and therefore if we insist on disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned very clearly the ayat I mentioned for the Fajr reminder today, the ayat of Surah Al-Isra, Surah Bani Israel, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned specifically this, which is the wages of disobedience, of what happens and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. This is what Allah did. Now Allah is saying that this did not happen, this was not random, that in two occasions, the first one it was Nebuchadnezzar from the king of Babylon, and the next occasion after about 200 years was Titus, the Roman emperor, who came into Jerusalem and completely destroyed the city, enslaved the people, committed mass slaughter. All of this happened, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this is not an accident. This happened because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed it and Allah ordered it. And Allah does not order. Allah is Ghafur Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Halimul Khabir. Allah knows, and He is Halim. He is so sabur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no one who is more sabr than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He is also Al-Wahidul Qahhar. He is also in control of everything. So to have sabr, when you have the control and the ability to take revenge and to destroy, That is real sabr. Sabr is not what we call sabr, because we can't do anything anyway. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do everything, yet He does not. He holds back. He gives us an opportunity to change ourselves. And Allah mentioned very clearly, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. Not because of this or that material reason, but because of the actions that the hands of people have earned. Kasabat, by our kasab, by our effort. We earn the trials and tribulations, and we earn the difficulties that we find ourselves in. And so there's no one else to blame in that case. So we need to correct ourselves, and we need to change our ways and means. And having done that, then we need to turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we say, okay, I have now changed my ways, and Ya Rab, help me and change my situation. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala promised that He will help. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind, and there should be no doubt in anybody's mind, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do and will do what He promised to do, and He promised to help. He said, Ud'uni astajib lakum. He said, call me, I will answer. So therefore we call Him. But when we call Him as His obedient slaves. We don't call Him as Baghi, as Fasiq and Fajr, as somebody who refuses to obey Him. We call Him as His obedient slave. We make ourselves obedience, and then we call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the in my opinion, this is the solution to what we are seeing today and what we find ourselves in. And this was and always has been the solution that was prescribed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and by His Anbiya alayhi salam. Nuh alayhi salam, Allah told us in Surah Nuh, فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا. So go make istighfar to your Rabb, and He is the most forgiving. يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ مِدْرَارًا وَيُمْدِدْكُمْ بِأَمْوَالٍ وَبَنِينَ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ وَيَجْعَلْ لَكُمْ أَنْهَارًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take away your difficulties. He will give you children, He will give you wealth, He will give you gardens, and He will give you rivers, and He will, meaning that He will change your material condition if you change your moral condition. That is the formula, if you want to call it the formula. Change the material condition, and the moral condition will change itself. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the sense and the understanding. The whole point of being Muslim, the whole point of knowing the Quran al-Kareem, the whole point of being the muttabi'een and the followers of the blessed sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam is that we have the opportunity to follow it to our own blessing and to our own success. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to do this, and to put blessing in it, and to put khair and barakah in it, and to accept it, and to accept our tawbah. We make istighfar, we make tawbah, and we ask Allah to forgive us and to change our situation. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyil kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.